Hi, welcome to the Black Experience Japan's Melanated Files. The purpose of this series is to highlight the black people living in Japan. Who are they?
My name is Damola. I am from Washington, D.C. I have been in Japan for 1.5 years, yeah. I am an ALT and I work with a teaching program, English teaching program out here. Living here has been so-so. That's the best way I can describe it. It's had a lot of ups, but it's also had a lot of downs. But the most important thing about living here is that I am free to be independent. As a somewhat newly graduated person, I have a lot of independence out here versus if I stayed home in America. So I am happy to be out here, basically. My whole childhood, basically, I was very fascinated with Japan and Japanese culture. And the more I learned about it, obviously from a very biased lens, I thought that it was basically like a utopic society out here. Like I thought that everyone was very mannerful, everyone's very cheerful and friendly, and just high technology everywhere, things like that. I thought it was basically the best society in the world. And I basically thought like that up until maybe my sophomore or junior year of college, so a long time. It wasn't until I actually joined some of these Black in Japan groups that I realized that it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, and I realized that Black people out here face a lot of tribulations. Actually coming here, I have been able to witness many of the negative aspects of Japan myself. So I've definitely become disillusioned over the years. First, via just reading other people's experiences and of course believing them because that is someone's personal experience. I'm not gonna take that away from them. And then coming here and seeing the good that I always knew about, and then also the bad that I had to experience for myself out here. What I like most about Japan is that, first of all, that I am free and independent out here as a single woman. I really appreciate that. I'm coming into my adulthood out here, so that is important for me. I like that many people are hardworking out here. When you come to Japan, you might think that that's kind of like a negative out here, but actually I appreciate that people are very determined and like they are very like steadfast in what they want to do. I appreciate that people try to stay occupied. Like they try to, if they're not working, they're trying to keep up with a hobby. They're trying to learn a new skill. It encourages me every day to make sure that I'm not idle. And I just love that there's a variety of things to do out here that I don't really remember there being in my hometown. What I like the least about Japan, I dislike that people can be very close-minded out here. People can be very fearful, kind of. Obviously, as a Black person who grew up in the Western world, I am very, I don't know, I have a kind of a sixth sense. I think a lot of us have it, where like you can sense that someone is afraid or like has some type of negative feeling, and I feel that a lot out here in Japan, like energy towards me, and it's not just like fascination, it's like actual like, oh my goodness, like I don't know if it's just me being a foreigner or me being Black. I actually think it's a mixture of both, and I don't like feeling that energy when I'm out and about. I like to feel free with, I'm originally from majority Black county in America, the Washington, D.C. area, and I seldom feel like I'm not free from like where I am from. Like, I don't feel people are judging me because of just the essence of who I am, and I kind of feel that more so out here. If people are staring at me, the little kids, it can be annoying, but it's okay. But when it's adults, when it's older individuals, that's when it is very negative. So I don't like that. I have ambitions for like what I want to do out here. Education out here, higher education out here is very high quality, and it's much cheaper than America, where I'm from. For instance, even if the top school in Tokyo University, is like 4 times less than let's say, a Georgetown University or a George Washington University in Washington, D.C. And Tokyo University is the same caliber as like an Ivy League school. So yeah, I definitely want to like go to grad school out here if possible. And if I could even work out here in my desired field, which would be like a global politics area, I would love that. The best life advice I've ever received is actually from my old boss in college. I used to work for my university's alumni outreach department, and my boss, when I was about to graduate college, like I was really nervous and I was really kind of insecure about what I wanted to do. Like I knew I wanted to go to like grad school in like a political science, international relations area, but I really didn't know where to start, and I was actually insecure about my grades, and I just didn't know about my future at all. I was talking to him about kind of wanting to apply to different areas, but just deciding not to apply because I felt like I wasn't good enough. And he told me, do not tell yourself no. Wait for someone else to tell you no, and then you can accept it and move on to the next page. But don't be the first barrier to your own success, basically. So even if you see a program and you see that you don't exactly meet the criteria, or you see other alumni of that program and you say, oh my God, like they are so great, I don't think I'm as good as them, maybe I shouldn't apply. Just push through it and apply anyway. Let the program or company tell you no first. So that's the best advice I've ever gotten, because actually applying to my specific program, I really thought that I would not be good enough because of my grades. My grades aren't that bad, but I didn't see myself as the top student. So I thought, maybe I'm not good enough. But I just applied anyway, and I just reached out to my mentors and asked them for recommendations. And somehow I got in the program. So, I'm happy that I actually followed his advice. Of course, the whole hair thing is always, it's funny and uncomfortable at the same time, because you never know it's gonna happen. It just happens to you unexpectedly. I remember like the first time I traveled from Japan to America, I made sure I got my hair braided up because it's a little bit difficult finding braiders out here. Came back with like tailbone length braids, and of course, I already have like big natural hair, but I don't know. People wear afros here, so maybe that's not so weird. But like when I wore my tailbone length hair, all these old ladies at every corner wanted to make sure that they said something about my hair or even tried to touch it. So I'll just be like, thank you, yes. It'll be like sugoi or utsukushi or something like that. So that's typically a compliment. So, but like one old lady was like, I was sitting in 7-Eleven and she came up to me and like kind of shouted a little bit. She's like, hey, and then she like pulled my hair. That was scary, but also kind of funny. Like, and she felt comfortable doing that to me because I was having a conversation with another older lady in English. So I don't know, for some reason she felt like it was fair game to just like pull on my hair. That was weird. And then another really funny thing happened was this old lady, I'm sure she was a tourist from like Inaka or something. She like came up to me in Shinjuku Station and she's like, oh, hi. And then she just walked off. I don't know if she thought I was famous or something. That was funny, actually, genuinely funny. Food, maybe tonkatsu, because I never experienced anything like tonkatsu before I came to Japan. Tonkotsu ramen is like the pork slices, but tonkatsu is deep fried pork, basically. It's breaded and deep fried. It is delicious. Usually they serve it with cabbage and some sauce. You can also eat it with white rice if you want. If the world was listening to me right now, I would tell the world, Always persevere and try your hardest. Life gets really hard sometimes and everyone has dark days, but keep pushing forward. Keep encouraging yourself. Give yourself affirmations every morning so you can keep pushing through and you will eventually succeed. Advice I would give to someone trying to come to Japan: come emotionally prepared to deal with many things, especially if you move to a big city like Tokyo. Really try to come emotionally prepared to be independent. When I came here, I was kind of projecting a little bit. When I met certain people, I projected like my intentions. I really intended to come out here and find a tribe and find a close circle of people who would just be my rock, basically, and help me, because that is what I had in America. All the time, I always had my close circle of friends who were there for me. I could cry with them and they would be there and cheer me up and just give me all the emotional love that I needed. But unfortunately out here, unless you have family out here or you have a bunch of already close friends out here, many people do become cold out in Tokyo. Japan in general, and especially different big cities, me in particular, Tokyo, can be very isolating, especially if you are a black woman or a black man, black person in general. This city can be isolating. This country can be isolating. When you come to Japan, make sure you have some semblance of emotional fortitude, or at least prep yourself to have to go through things alone. Many people, both Japanese natives and foreigners, have developed some type of like isolation for themselves, because that's what this country really is all about. So people will not jump at the chance to be there for you, okay? So you have to make sure that you are ready to go at it alone. You will meet a lot of great friends out here, trust me, but it is rare that you will be able to find a group of friends who will be there for you emotionally and everything. You have to build that up for yourself. You can find me on Instagram at kolanutmami. My black people out here in Japan, we need to be there for each other, you know? We need to be there for each other. Sometimes I see my fellow black people and they don't really want to be bothered, or like they will pretend like they don't see another black person because they don't want to be an other. They want to kind of assimilate more. And I don't think that is the way, you guys. Let's be there for each other out here and let's support each other. Yeah. And keep on supporting big black platforms online. That's a big deal for us too.
Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see weekly videos about the black experience in Japan, feel free to subscribe to this channel. If you know someone that would like to be featured, or if you yourself would like to be featured, send us a message on our Facebook page at The Black Experience Japan, or send us a tweet on Twitter at TheBlackXJP. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.